Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to be breaking down Lazarus Volume 2, Lift. We're going to be following a few side plots in this one. One of them is about Forever Carlyles training as a child, so we're going to see some flashbacks to that, which is very compelling. We're going to further the overall plot a bit, but mostly we're going to be introduced to the waste, to the civilians, the regular people, and we're going to follow their shitty lives and watch them struggle to make it. Specifically, we're going to meet this Barrett family and watch them try and get lifted up into serf status and a better life. So, some all-around pretty intriguing stuff. Let's dive into it. Lazarus, Volume 2. Lazarus, Volume 2, Lift. Written by Greg Rucka, art by Michael Lark, colors by Santi, Arcas. Lazarus, Issue 5, Lift, Part 1 of 5. We begin with a flashback to a young Forever, when she was just a little girl and she was going through her Lazarus training. Malcolm Carlyle is walking with the scientist, James Mann. Malcolm asks, "When was the last time I saw her, James?" James answered, "On her birthday, Mr. Carlyle, so just over 5 months ago." A door opens and Malcolm and James walk outside. James yells over to Forever, "There's someone here to see you." And a young Forever runs over excitedly to her dad, Malcolm, yelling, "Daddy! I'm so happy to see you! No one told me you were coming!" Malcolm very sternly tells his daughter, "A pleasure to see you too, Forever." Malcolm then turns to Forever's trainer, a woman named Marisol Ocampo. Malcolm hands Marisol a briefcase of sorts and asks her to open it. Inside is a special sword. Malcolm asked Forever, "Do you know what this is?" Forever answered, "Yes, sir, that's my sword, the one you promised me." Malcolm says, "No, this is the family sword, the one you must earn as I told you. Do you think you're ready to carry it?" Forever replied, "I am, sir." Malcolm tells his daughter, "Prove it to me." So a young Forever, who was, I don't know, maybe 10, 11, 12 years old at the time, she was sparring with her trainer, Marisol. Even though they are just sparring, they are going pretty hard at each other. Marisol, she wins in the end, overpowering Forever, and knocking her to the ground, even drawing some blood on her. Malcolm, watching, said, "I'm disappointed in you, Forever. I expected better." Forever, she stood up, wiped the blood from her lip, and replied, "Yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir." Malcolm coldly responded, "I think we both know your apology is meaningless. Our enemies would not hear it because you would be dead. Your mother and I, your siblings would not hear it because we would likely be dead too. You're not ready to wear the sword. I wonder in fact if you should be allowed to wear the name Carlyle at all. The next time I visit you, you will defeat Marisol, or you will no longer be permitted to call yourself my daughter." Back now in the present day, Forever and some soldiers have traveled to the Mississippi River on the west bank. They are here because when Jonah Carlyle escaped, he stole a helicopter, and the helicopter crashed on the west side of the Mississippi River. It is then believed he traveled over to Hawk territory to seek refuge. On the west side of the Mississippi River is Carlyle territory, and on the east side is Hawk territory. As Forever is investigating the crashed plane that they believe their brother stole, she then looks across to the other side of the river, and she sees a whole squad of Hawk soldiers there. The Hawk soldiers even yell over to Forever, saying, "Hey, sweetmeat, you lose something?" Forever quips back, "You mean like a war? Nope, we won." "How's the food over there in the land of Bittner and Hawk, by the way? You all have full bellies, do you?" One of the Hawk soldiers responds, "You come over here and I'll give you something to eat." He says this as he grabs his crotch. Forever to this says, "Ah, a rape threat. That didn't take them long, did it, Sergeant?" The soldier Forever was talking to replies, "No, Commander, it surely did not." Well, Forever, she saw what she needed to see. She saw the crashed plane her brother stole. She's ready to head back. As Forever turns her back to the Mississippi River, all of a sudden she gets shot in her back. One of the soldiers on Carlyle's side gets angry by this. He yells, "Weapons free!" Forever stops them, saying, "Hold fire!" Now, because Forever Carlyle is a Lazarus, a shot in the back is not deadly at all. But it definitely is a nuisance. Forever turns back around and yells at Hawk territory, saying, "One of you just shot me in the back. One of you was just very frickin' stupid. Severa Bittner and Old Man Hawk have an armistice with my family. If the person who shot me did so under orders, that means the armistice is broken and we are now at war. But if the shit-stained coward who shot me in the back acted against orders, Carlyle will be satisfied by seeing the soldier in question punished, and we will consider the matter settled." The Hawk soldiers, they're not ready to escalate to war. So the one soldier on their side that happened to shoot Forever in the back starts panicking. He says, "Guys, come on, don't be stupid here. I'm one of you." But the Hawk soldiers, they don't want to escalate to war, so they will appease Forever's demands. They shoot and kill the soldier that shot Forever, appeasing her. Forever, pleased, says, "I think we're done here, Sergeant," and she heads off. So, just a reminder on the political landscape of North America. Carlyle family is feuding with a few families around them. There is the Vasilovka family in Alaska, coming from Russia. There is the Hawk family in the eastern United States. There's also the Bittner family in the north. And in the south, there is the Murray family. So far, the Murray family have kind of worked out their differences with Carlyle, but the other ones are all kind of feuding with them. And when Jonah Carlyle stole an aircraft last volume, he tried to escape to the east, to Hawk. We now jump over to Montana, and we meet a family of Waste. Waste is the name of the lowest class of citizen in the Carlyle territory. In Montana here, this Waste family is known as the Barrett family. The dad is named Joe, the mother is Bobby, and their two kids are Michael and Leah. The family owns a farm, and there is a massive flood coming due to the intense rain. Bobby is on the phone, and she is trying to request some heavy machinery to come in to help them and their farm withstand the flood. If the river breaks and it banks here, they're gonna lose everything. In the end, the storm came, the river broke, and their home got destroyed. And in the morning, once everything was calm, to add insult to injury, the machinery they requested finally got approved, and it was going to be there in the morning, although by then it was too late. Lazarus, Issue 6, Lift, Part 2 of 5. We begin with another flashback to Forever as a child. Her trainer, Marisol, and the scientist, James Mann, are discussing Malcolm's visit with Forever. Marisol asks James, "When do you think Malcolm's gonna be back? How much longer do I have to get Forever ready?" James answered, "I don't know, but if I had to guess, maybe another month or two." "You think she will be ready by then?" Marisol replied, "I don't know, I really don't." James, he spouted out some facts, saying, "Her physical development is almost 60% above projection for this stage of growth. Reaction time, recovery time, speed, strength, she's working better than designed." Marisol to this said, "Oh, trust me, I know, that's not what worries me. What worries me is that she believed him, James. Forever is convinced her father will disown her if she doesn't defeat me. He's pushing her too hard. It's no way to treat a child." James responded, "If she was a normal child, I'd agree." Once Marisol went to bed that night, James went to go visit Forever. He talked with her. Forever asked James, "Why don't they ever come to visit me, my family? I mean, Father is the only one who comes, and maybe sometimes Beth. I can't remember ever meeting the twins, or Stephen, or Mother. Is it because I'm not good enough?" James, trying to make Forever feel better, said, "No, they're just very busy. It's a big domain, and running it is a big responsibility. When you're older, it'll be your responsibility too. Now, close your eyes." We jump back now to the current day. Forever's alarm goes off and she wakes up. She pops all the many pills that she needs to take to maintain her body. And then Forever looks at her cell phone once again, and the mysterious email she received saying, "He is not your father. This is not your family." This message is still bothering her. She looks in the mirror and says to herself, "Whoever you are, you're wrong. You're wrong." Later that day, Forever goes to visit her sister, Johanna. Johanna has now taken over the Los Angeles domain from Jonah since he is gone, and she's trying to do a sort of rebuilding effort. Forever catches up with her sister a bit, and then she goes for a walk, saying she thought she'd take a look at the security of the place around. We jump back on over to Montana, to the Barrett family. In the aftermath of the flood that destroyed their home, they realize they are no longer going to be able to continue their business here. They are ruined. The amount it's going to cost them is just insurmountable. They would have to continue paying the Carlyle family back at an even higher level, and they just wouldn't be able to do it. Bobby Barrett is talking to one of the administrators there. She's complaining, saying, "We're already in debt because of that damn heavy. How are we supposed to live with that tax? How are we supposed to feed our children? If we take this loan to help us rebuild, the kids will be paying it off into the grave. They're crushing us. They're killing us." Joe Barrett tells the administrator to leave them for now. They need some time to discuss their options. While Joe and Bobby Barrett, the parents, are discussing what their family is going to do next, in the distance, their two kids, Michael and Leia, are also wondering how their life is going to change. Also with them is Michael's girlfriend, a local girl named Casey Solomon. Casey tells Michael and Leia, "My granddad says we'll have to move to a city if we can't rebuild. We'll be city waste." Michael tells Casey, "You can't leave. If you leave, you'll lose your land." Joe and Bobby Barrett are discussing with Casey's granddad, Dennis Solomon. They are all in a tough situation, wondering what they are going to do. As they are all wondering what their next move will be, Leia Barrett reads something on a computer screen. In Denver, there's going to be something called the Lift. The Lift is an event that happens every so often around the country. Civilians that are considered waste are allowed to try and submit themselves to be lifted up into Serf status. They will go through some rigorous testing and an interview process. And if they are found to be exceptional and have some merit, the Carlyles will lift them and their families to the higher level of status into a better life, where they can serve the Carlyles in a more important capacity. And Leia, reading that there is going to be a lift event in Denver soon, she suggests that they try out for it. It could be their ticket to solving their woes. Elsewhere, back in Los Angeles, a gang of young people, composed of 4 waste civilians, are plotting something. They are going to try and steal some material that they will use to make a bomb. They see themselves as freedom fighters, trying to fight back against the oppression of the Carlyles, although the Carlyles just would see them as terrorists. The 4 young people in this group are their leader, Angel, a girl named Emma, a guy named Dose, and a girl named Bit. The one girl in their group named Emma, who's about 19 years old. Her task is going to be to distract 2 Carlyle guards nearby, while the others break into this facility and steal some things. So Emma, she goes over to distract the guards. She tells the guards she's hungry and she wants to know if they'll do a trade. She's willing to trade her body to them if they give her some food and water. She tells the 2 soldiers, "I'm clean, you can check, I just got screened. I just want some food and a couple bottles of water, okay?" The 2 soldiers talk to themselves, and then they tell the girl, "Alright, but it'll be both of us." Emma tells them, "Okay, but not together and not out here." Emma, with the 2 guards, goes somewhere a little bit more secluded. Meanwhile, the other members in her group, Angel, Dose, and Bit, they cut their way in through a fence, and they sneak into this base. and they find a storage container and they break their way inside of it. While they are doing this, Forever Carlyle is there, surveying them all. Forever, she thought about breaking them up, but she wanted to assess the situation some more. She watched as the three young people made off with some supplies. Forever then made her way over to the two guards that should have been watching for these thieves. She finds them in the middle of having their way with Emma. Forever kicks one of the men off of Emma and yells at them, saying, "Get off of her, now! Off, now!" The guards try to lie, saying, "It's not what you think. We were on post and this waste just..." Forever tells them, "Shut up. Do not speak. You're already done for dereliction of duty. You say another word, it's insubordination as well. This is how you represent my family? I should take your heads and see each of your families sent down." Emma pleads to Forever, let me go, I didn't do anything." Forever tells the girl, "Emma, it's Emma, right? I know what Bit and Angel and Dose did. I know what they stole. You're going to tell me where they took it and what they planned to do with it." Back over to Montana. Joe and Bobby Barrett decide that they must abandon their property here. They can no longer afford to keep the farm going. So, they are going to travel to Denver for the lift and hope that their kids at least get selected, maybe. It's a chance anyway. As they are about to head out, Dennis Solomon, the grandfather of Casey, talks with Bobby and Joe. He tells them, "I want you to take my granddaughter Casey with you. I'm going in with Taylor and Gomez. There's no future for her in that, only debt, but maybe with you, maybe with the lift, maybe she's got a future." Later on, Dennis says goodbye to his granddaughter Casey. He kisses her on her forehead, and then Casey leaves with the Barretts, and they all get started on their journey to Denver and potentially a new life. Lazarus, Issue 7, Lift, Part 3 of 5. We have another flashback to Forever as a little girl, training with Marisol. Forever asked, "Have you ever been in war, Marisol?" And Marisol answered, "I fought in 3 wars, Eve." Forever asked if she was scared. Marisol answered, "Before the fighting I was scared, always. And maybe surprisingly sometimes after, but never during. That's why we train, Eve. We train to master ourselves in the moment. We train so that when the moment comes, we do not hesitate and we do not fear." Forever shared with Marisol that she was afraid. Marisol responded, "I know you are. You are afraid because it is unknown. You are afraid because it will hurt. But that is the point, Eve. You are a warrior for your family. Pain will always be a part of your life. Your ability to endure it, to control it, and overcome it, that is what will make you great." The two of them spar once again in the gym there, and at the end we see that Marisol must have beat Forever pretty bad. Forever has lashes on her back. Marisol told Forever, "You did very well, you did great." Forever, tearing up, said, "I didn't make a sound." Marisol responded, "I know." Forever then asked, "If Father orders me to kill you when we fight, what do I do?" Marisol, holding Forever, told her, "You do as your father orders." Forever continues and says, "But if Father orders you to kill me, would you do it?" Marisol answered, "Yes." Forever then asked Marisol to not tell her father that she cried. Marisol, she said that she promised. We jump back now to the current day. Forever has brought this Emma girl to a discreet place to get interrogated. Forever walked into the interrogation room and asked Emma, "You're not in the system, Emma. There are a couple possible explanations for this. You could be an illegal from Murray, maybe Bittner or Hawk, maybe somewhere else. It could be that you were never chipped, never sequenced, although that's unlikely. But I believe you were intentionally blanked, paid to be erased from the archive, paid to have your chip removed. That makes you either a spy or a terrorist." The teenager Emma yells back, "I didn't do anything wrong. I made a trade. It was your soldiers who violated me." Forever dismisses Emma, saying, "And while you were occupying those soldiers, 3 of your associates robbed my family. And by assessing what they took, it seems like they are trying to make a very powerful bomb. So you're going to tell me where I can find your friends." Emma remained defiant, though. She told Forever, "You don't own me, and you can go screw yourself. I know what you can do to me. You think I don't? I know you can hurt me. I know what you can do. You think you can do anything worse to me than that's already been done? You think I have anything to lose? There's nothing you can do or take from me that your family doesn't already have." We now jump over to Wyoming, to the Badlands. The Barrett family, along with Casey Solomon, are still on their way to travel to Denver to the lift. They make camp for the night in the desert there. They set up a small fire and set up some tents. Joe Barrett, being nice to Casey, whom they've taken in, tells her, "We're long past formal. You can call me Joe, or you can call me Dad. Bobby and I promised your grandfather we'd treat you as our own, and we're going to keep that. You're family now." Although Casey's not literally family, as her and Michael Barrett have a little bit of a romantic relationship. Casey then goes over to the tent where Michael and his sister Leia are staying. All 3 of them talk for a while, but Leia gets a little bit annoyed. She doesn't want to be a third wheel in Michael and Casey making out. So she says she's gonna go check on the horses, and she leaves them be in the tent. When Leia does go over to the horses, all of a sudden, a whole bunch of bandits come and confront her. The bandits are brandishing guns. Leia, seeing them, screams out, "Dad! Dad!" Leia then starts running, and as she's running back to her mom and dad, and she gets shot in the back with a shotgun blast. Leia is dead. Leia's mom, Bobby Barrett, screams out, "Leia!" The bandits start opening fire. Joe Barrett starts firing back. One of the bandits goes down, getting shot in the chest. Bullets are flying, crack, crack, crack. Another bandit gets shot in the chest. Joe Barrett himself gets shot in the shoulder. Casey Solomon, she managed to grab a gun, and crack, crack, she took down the remaining bandits. It seems like they are all safe now. Bobby, she runs over to her daughter Leia, and she's holding Leia in her arms and saying, our baby, they killed our beautiful girl, Joe." We jump back over to Los Angeles at the home of Johanna Carlyle. Forever is talking to a soldier under her command, a Captain Orioso. Forever tells this Orioso that she wants him to address the corruption within the Guard Corps. And then Forever talks about this Emma girl. She was part of a terrorist cell, but Forever is not sure how she can get this Emma to talk. Johanna, overhearing this conversation, asks, "Can I try?" So we go back over to the interrogation room, and Forever invites in Johanna to talk to this Emma. Johanna asks Emma, "Hello Emma, do you know who I am?" Johanna is of course very famous in the Carlyle domain, so Emma answers, "You're Johanna Carlyle." Johanna responds, "That's right. My sister has told me a lot about you. She says that you won't help us." Emma defiantly says, "I'd rather die." Johanna to this says, "No, you wouldn't. No one wants to die." "Don't be silly, Emma. You want it to get better. You know, you're very pretty. You know that, I'm sure. I understand you've been training on that, in fact. Don't get me wrong, you're filthy, and those clothes do nothing for you, and your hair is a tragedy, but that's nothing that can't be fixed. How old are you, 20, 22? Emma answers, 19. Johanna to this says, "Even better, 19. That's the start of a career. What do you think, Forever? Should we start her as a dancer for T. Rixie or someone else who's on this post? You know, some voice lessons, some movement lessons. Maybe she could be an actress. She could be the lead in one of our action adventures, maybe. Of course, we'd have to lift her to Serf status, and her family, too, if you have a family. And once you're a Serf, well, our family takes very good care of those who have something they can offer. What can you offer, Emma?" So Johanna is offering this Emma a better life for her and her family. she would be lifted to being a serf, and she might even get a job in the entertainment industry as a singer or an actress and have fame. Well, all of a sudden, Emma seriously starts thinking, giving them the information they want. We jump back over to the Barretts. They are still continuing on their journey to Denver. At one point, they stop so Michael can change his father Joe's bandages from the bullet wound. Michael is a very smart boy. He even has picked up some minor medical knowledge. Once Joe's bandages are changed, they continue onward, and they travel, and eventually they arrive at a whole mass of people. Miles and miles of them, all heading to Denver, to the lift. Lazarus, Chapter 8, Lift, Part 4 of 5. We begin this issue with another flashback. Forever is about 10 years old at this time. It is actually her birthday. She is in the middle of some virtual reality training where she has to kill a whole bunch of people. Her father came to visit Forever, and he is watching her from another room. Malcolm asked Marisol, "Can she beat you?" Marisol answered, "No, sir." Malcolm asked, "You're not just saying that to buy her more time?" Marisol answered, "She's not ready, sir." Malcolm tells Marisol, "Well then, I was never here, and you are not to tell Forever that I was. Pity. I should have liked to have been with her today." Malcolm gives Marisol a gift to give to Forever later. While Malcolm leaves, he warns Marisol, "I'll be back in 30 days. See that she's ready by then." After Forever finished her virtual reality training, she went to eat some cake with James Mann, Marisol, and some of the other staff. Forever sees the gift that her father gave her. It was a book called The Once and Future King by T.H. White. Forever asked, "My dad, did he visit? Was he here? Was he here?" Marisol, lying, said, No, he's in Australia. He had it sent by messenger for your birthday, with his love." We jump back now to the current day. Emma, the young teen that was part of a group of rebels, well, she sold out her friends for the promise of fame. And in their Los Angeles hideout, Forever, along with some Carlyles soldiers, storm their warehouse and arrest them all. Forever, she scans the room and she notices that their leader, Angel, is missing. Forever asks the girl Bit, "Where is he, Bit? Where's Angel? Where's he taking the bomb? Tell me!" "Emma told us where to find you. She told us everything. Now it's your turn." We jump on over to the mass of people walking to Denver for the lift. They are about 74 miles out of the city. One of the fathers in the group had a little girl with him, and her arm got dislocated. And the father happened to notice Michael Barrett helping his father earlier with his bandages. The father asked Michael if he wouldn't mind looking at his daughter. Michael, with his limited medical knowledge, knew how to help the girl out, and he popped her shoulder back into place, and the girl felt much better. Word is starting to spread through all of the people walking to Denver that Michael is someone that knows a little bit of some medical knowledge, and he can be asked if things are ailing them. In fact, word spread so much, there was a medical van in their convoy that was run by a whole bunch of nuns, and they heard word of Michael and they wanted to speak with him. So, Michael, he went to the medical van and talked to the woman in charge there. She was a nun named Sister Bernard. Sister Bernard and her fellow nuns travel through the various territories. Not only Carlisle, they also travel to Moray and Hawk, assisting civilians with medical care. Sister Bernard shows Michael some of the technology in their van there. She says, "Everyone who enters the rig has their chip scanned and logged. It makes retrieving their medical history, their genetic screen, that much easier. It's very efficient." The sister then asks Michael about himself and those that are traveling with him. She then asks Michael, "I've heard that you've been practicing medicine, is that correct?" Michael answers, "No, I wouldn't say medicine. It's just basic first aid. Common sense stuff. I've just done more reading than most, I guess, that's all. Sister Bernard responds, "Oh, you can read? You're self-taught?" Michael answers, "My parents taught us. Look, my dad got shot when my sister died, and I've been treating him. People saw me tending to him after we joined the convoy, and they asked if I could take a look at them too. What was I gonna say? Was I gonna say no? It just went from there. Look, I'm no doctor. I don't have medicine, don't have bandages. I mean, I'm using honey and garlic and ginger if I can find it. I'm just doing what I can." The sister tells Michael, "Look, you're not in trouble. There's only 4 of us in the group here, and you saw how long the line is out there, people needing medical care. I could use some help, and I'd be happy to teach you what I can, at least until we reach Denver, and your whole family can ride with us. This is the safest part of the convoy." Michael accepts the nun's offer. We jump on back over to California. Forever, through a video call, is talking to her father Malcolm and her brother Stephen. Forever warns them about the terrorist cell that she was tracking here in Los Angeles. And the leader of their group, a man named Angel, well, he stole some stuff to make a bomb. And Forever is worried that this Angel might be heading to the lift there in Denver, and he might blow the bomb up there. And she begs them to cancel the lift event. Stephen Carlyle tells his sister, "No, absolutely not." Forever argues, "I believe this is a legitimate threat, sir. I believe this individual, Angel, intends to detonate the device in a crowd during the lift selection." Malcolm tells Forever, "I don't doubt it. Your job, your purpose is to protect this family. Therefore your job, your purpose is to keep that from happening. Unless you're telling me you can't." Forever responds to her father, "No, sir, I'm not saying that. There's gonna be 100,000 people at the selection, maybe more." Malcolm to this says, "That sounds like an excuse for failure. Are you telling me you intend to fail?" Forever responds, "No, sir." Malcolm continues, "Then you should be on your way to Denver and not wasting my time. I'll expect to hear from you when you have the terrorist either dead or in custody." The phone call then ends. Forever did not like the way her father spoke to her, but she's going to do what he said and go to Denver and try and stop this supposed terrorist attack from happening. We jump on back over to the convoy headed to Denver. Bobby Barrett and her husband Joe Barrett discuss their daughter, Leia, and how much they miss her. Bobby says, "I miss her like I can't breathe, Joe." Joe answers, "I miss her too." Meanwhile, we also see Casey Solomon in the crowd, riding on a horse. She accidentally knocks an unsuspecting civilian over. She goes to help the civilian up, and it turns out that this civilian is Angel Garcia, the terrorist with the bomb. Angel dropped one of his bags on the ground there. Casey went to pick it up for him, and Angel quickly grabbed the bag back and said, "Hey, I got it. Casey told Angel, "Hey, I'm not trying to rob you, man. I'm just trying to make it right." Angel responded, It's just all my stuff. I can't be too careful, you know." Casey to this says, "No, you cannot. Let's try that again. I'm Casey. Real sorry I ran into you like that." Angel responds, "Casey, nice to meet you. I'm Angel." Lazarus, Issue 9, Lift, Part 5 of 5. We continue with a flashback to Forever as a 10-year-old girl. Her father Malcolm has come to watch Forever spar with Marisol. This is the day Malcolm expects his daughter to win. Malcolm asked, "Forever, are you ready?" Forever responded, "I am, father." Malcolm responded, "Then show me. Not with those, with these." Malcolm didn't want Forever to spar with the wooden swords they normally would. Instead, he gives her and Marisol real blades. Forever holds her sword. Marisol holds hers. Marisol tells Forever, "Remember to breathe." Their duel starts. Their swords clang a few blows, but then Marisol, with the butt of her sword, hits Forever in the face, causing her to bleed. Marisol told Forever, "You can do better than that." They continued trading sword swings and blocking. Their duel went on for quite some time. Eventually, Forever got the upper hand. She dodged under one of Marisol's swings, and then Forever sliced Marisol in the back of her leg, and Marisol fell down. Forever then held her blade, and she could have killed Marisol then and there, but she stopped herself. Forever, she won the fight, but she did not want to kill Marisol. She stopped and said, "James, Marisol's hurt. Please help her." James asked Malcolm for permission first. Malcolm said, "By all means." Malcolm then walked over to Forever and asked, "Why didn't you kill her?" Forever answered, "You said the next time we fought I had to defeat her. You didn't say I had to kill her. I did what you told me, Father." Malcolm sternly answered, "Yes. Yes, you did. I believe this is yours, my daughter." He then gave her the customary sword the Lazarus wields. He told Forever, "May it always remind you of the pride and faith your family places in you." We jump back now to the current day in Denver, and we see Forever still has that very sword with her. Forever is here to try and capture this terrorist, Angel Garcia, as he is still at large, and they are worried he is going to blow a bomb here at the lift. Forever then goes to visit her brother, Stephen Carlyle, here in Denver. Stephen is gay, and he has a partner named Ryan, and Ryan is adjusting Stephen's tie for him. The two of them have been together for a long time. Forever warns her brother Stephen that she is worried that this man that's going to blow the bomb is going to be targeting Stephen himself. Stephen tells Forever, "This is my domain, I can't hide today. I have a duty to perform for my family." Forever doesn't like it, but she will abide by her brother's wishes. But she will have a team following him for extra protection on the day. Finally, the convoy has arrived in Denver. They are all stationed outside this massive Carlyle building. Everyone will be waiting for their chance to be evaluated for the lift. The nun, Sister Bernard, as a way to pay back Michael for helping her and the other sisters with the medical needs of people, is offering to use her connections to ensure that both Michael and Casey will be placed in priority selection for testing. The nun escorts them to some Carlyle soldiers and she says, "Excuse me, I'm Sister Bernard. I'd like these two young people placed for priority selection. They're with me." The Carlyle soldier asks to see the nun's tags, and then he questions her, saying, "How long were you in Hawk country?" The nun answered, "Most of the winter. We treated the epidemic in Boston." The soldier then asked, "And you were in Bittner territory before that?" Someone in the family will want to debrief you." The nun answered, "Of course." The soldier then confirmed, "All right, Barrett Michael and Solomon Casey, both confirmed for priority selection. You want the A entrance. Go to the front of the line." After this interaction, Sister Bernard escorts Casey and Michael to the front of the line. She explains to them, "In exchange for free movement through Carlyle territory, I'm expected to talent spot for them." Bobby is a little bit skeptical of the nun. She asks, "And that's not all you do for Carlyle, is it?" Sister Bernard answers, "If you find my motive suspect, Miss Barrett, you're free to take your chances without me, but it is a very long line." Bobby to this says, "It's all the same corruption, and just wears different clothes. We should go back to your father and get the hell out of here." The sister tells Bobby, "Miss Barrett, I'm offering help, nothing more. My influence guarantees that Michael and Casey will be tested. Anything beyond that is up to them, and the will of the Almighty." Michael tells his mom, "We've come this far, Mom. Let's just see it through to the end." Bobby, she reluctantly agrees. As they get close to the front of the line, the nun starts instructing Bobby and Casey what they can expect. She says, "Selection begins once you've passed security and registered with the proctors. If you heed nothing else I say, remember this. Once inside, everything you do, everything you say, is being monitored and evaluated. They'll begin with the cursory medical exam and limited genetic screen. At this point, they're primarily concerned with possible infection and communicable diseases, anything that would pose a danger to others. That said, they're also examining for any physical impairments that could bias test results. The Carlyle family wants the best in their service, and while they are very, very picky, they are also, as you know, greedy. They wouldn't want to lose a potential resource over an easily corrected defect, after all. From the medical screen, you'll proceed to an initial selection. It's likely you'll be separated at this point for security reasons. You'll each be evaluated on cognitive function, logic, memory, pattern recognition. These are intelligence tests, obviously. The tests will also adapt to your performance. The better you do, the harder it will get. Unless you're told otherwise by a proctor, assume every test is timed, and that you have less of it than you'd like. A physical evaluation will follow. You'll be tested for strength, stamina, physical, dexterity, eye-hand coordination, but you are also being watched for your ability to comprehend and follow instructions quickly and properly. That will complete the initial round of selection. You'll likely start seeing a large number of dismissals at that point. Provided you are not dismissed, you will then be advanced to specialized testing, tailored to your scores thus far. Do not speak to the other applicants under any circumstances. Answer any questions from the proctors honestly, and do not speak to them unless spoken to. Remember, the proctors can dismiss at any time, and without cause. We see that both Michael and Casey managed to proceed through the first few rounds of testing, but eventually Casey got dismissed, and she stormed out and she was swearing up a storm. Casey was so angry when she got dismissed that she happened to see Forever walking by outside the complex. Casey stormed right over to Forever and told her, "This whole lift is BS, total BS. I pass all your freaking tests, and they kick me out, and you know why? You want to guess why?" Forever, confused, said, "Miss, I'm very sorry, but..." Casey continued and said, "Because I might, maybe, one day get breast cancer. That's why they dismissed me. Because I've got a genetic marker that indicates a predisposition for it. That's why." Forever is stunned. She's silent. She asks, "You have no idea who I am, do you?" Casey answers, "Just another Carlyle bootlicker." Forever then gets told through the communication device in her ear that she was needed elsewhere, so she leaves. And as she heads out, Casey notices that Angel Garcia, whom she met earlier in the convoy, and she sees that he is walking a little suspiciously. Casey goes over to talk with him. She asks, Angel, is that you? What are you doing back here? Did you get tested?" Angel, he then turns around, and he has a bomb strapped to him. Angel tells Casey, "I'm sorry," and then he stabs her in the stomach. Casey is confused. Angel, he tells her, "I'm really sorry. I can't risk you raising an alarm. There can be no collaboration, Casey. No capitulation. We will make the families pay with their own blood. We will be free." So Casey, she gets stabbed. Now she is lying on the ground, bleeding out. And Angel, he continues on. Meanwhile, back inside the complex, Michael is still being pushed through the various tests. Michael, he made it all the way to the end. He has passed. And after being frisked for the third time, he is finally allowed into the room where the Carlyle family is. Stephen Carlyle is there to greet him. He says, "You must be Michael Barrett. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Stephen Carlyle. Congratulations and welcome to my family's service." While Stephen is talking to Michael, snipers are on the roof trying to find this Angel Garcia man, and Forever is also on surveillance duty. Meanwhile, Michael, continuing to talk to Stephen, says, I was hoping for something in medicine, sir." Stephen replies, "I think that's an excellent idea." Michael, he asked, "I'm sorry, I don't want to be rude, but I should find my mom and dad." Stephen asks some of his assistants around, saying, "Do we have an ETA on Michael's family yet?" One of Stephen's assistants answers, "I believe they're being escorted over right now." While that is going on outside, things are getting more tense. Angel Garcia with the bomb strapped to him is slowly edging closer towards his target. Forever finally notices Angel. She goes over to Stephen and starts escorting him out. And finally, Angel, he starts yelling to the crowd. He says, "Power is not a means, it is not an end. The object of persecution is persecution. The object of torture is torture." Forever, she then storms outside to where Angel is. Forever starts trying to wrestle Angel. Angel, he has a dead man's switch in his hand. So if he drops the detonator, the bomb's gonna go off. So Forever has to be very careful with how she gets that device out of his hands. So Forever, she's wrestling with him and she's struggling to get at it. And that is when Casey Solomon walks over. She's still alive, although she is in rough shape, but she has enough strength to stab Angel herself, killing him. And then she passed out. Next, we see Casey recovering in a hospital room. Michael is there, as well as Joe and Bobby. Casey asks Michael, "You got in, didn't you? They lifted you." "They didn't take me, Michael. They didn't want me." Michael then gives Casey the good news. He says, "Yes, they did. You were selected on merit, they said. They took us both, Casey. We work for the family now." And if we zoom in on the TV in the background here as a little Easter egg, we see Emma, the girl from earlier. She was in fact lifted up as well, and she was given what she was promised. She is now on the route to being a famous singer. She put out a song called Compromises on the album Lifted Up. And with this, we end Volume 2 of Lazarus. Alright, that was Volume 2. Let me go through my thoughts on this one. I really liked the Forever flashback stuff, seeing her training as a little girl and how messed up it was and how hard she was pushed. So that was very fascinating. And I really liked the relationship being explored between her father and Forever. You know, Malcolm Carlyle, he is strategically dosing out his love in the appropriate way and trying to balance love and distance as a tool to push Forever forward, which is very messed up, but very intriguing to see played out. Strategic love, the best kind of love. I thought it was really cool following the Barrett family because, you know, the waste, the civilians are an important part of this world. They're often overlooked, but they are a huge amount of the population, and we got to follow some of the waste stories in this volume, whether it be this Emma girl who is going to be lifted to become a singer by ratting on her friends, and the Barrett family and their struggles on the farm, and then watching them go through this lift process and being selected. And Michael, Barrett, and Casey are going to be pretty important characters throughout the rest of this series. So, yeah, very important, even though they're waste and they've been lifted up. So I thought, all in all, this was a pretty good volume, and that explored some interesting parts of the world of Lazarus. I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. Be sure to tune in next week for Volume 3, Conclave, because that one is going to include a big gala meeting of all the families coming together and their Lazaruses all hanging out. So it's going to be very exciting. So I will see you all then there for that.